Greetings, Mainers, New Englanders, and everyone else tuning in. Thank you for being here. I'm trying something different with my audio tonight. I know that I realized after I uploaded the videos to YouTube that they were not great quality. So I'm trying something different. My laptop, which is slightly older, has a fan running, so it keeps picking up on the fan, which I think I can figure out how to get rid of eventually, but not tonight. I want to bring you another episode of Maine News for me. Just a fun play on words, just all about Maine news for the average Maine citizen. Last night, the news that I brought was kind of depressing, so I found a couple different news articles that aren't as awful. But it's still nice to just stay up to date with what's happening. I didn't add this in the last video, but this is from the news app, News Break app. I'll include something in the description below, so that way you guys can see. Like I said, I'm pretty active on there, so I do comment and respond to people's comments on there. So that's another way to get involved. It is under Drew Hoagland, also on there. So, this is from Maine Updates. Governor Mills declares October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Maine. Shares personal experience. Maine's Governor, Janet Mills, has opened up about her past experience with domestic violence. She did this while announcing that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Maine. Mills mentioned a past relationship with a man who abused alcohol and threatened her. She later escaped, pursued a career in law, and eventually became the state's governor. Mills highlighted that domestic violence is not limited by race, age, gender, or income. She mentioned that 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men in the U.S. have been victims of violence or abuse from a partner. She also noted that transgender and non-binary individuals experience high rates of domestic abuse. In Maine, domestic abuse contributes to nearly half of the annual homicides. That's alarming. Every year, over 14,000 people in the state seek help for domestic violence. Mills stressed the need for awareness, improved public policies for victim support, and accountability for abusers. Mills encouraged everyone to raise awareness about domestic violence, challenge abusive behavior, and support survivors. She emphasized that individual actions can contribute to ending domestic violence in Maine. She ended her message by sharing the contact information by the statewide domestic abuse helpline. She reassured victims that they are not alone and that it is possible to escape from violence. She thanked her audience for their attention, underlining the significance of awareness and action in combating domestic violence. I didn't plan on reading the whole article, but it's short. And that's a problem with a lot of these articles, is that they're so short and there's not a whole lot of meat and potatoes. On the surface of this, I'm supportive. I mean, it's alarming that domestic abuse contributes to nearly half of the annual homicides here in the state. That's not good. And 14,000 people every year in the state seek help for domestic violence. So that's a lot of people for our small state. And I don't think we can ever get it down to 0, but we should definitely make some efforts. So, I mean, it seems like every month is something, so why not make this month Domestic Abuse Awareness Month? Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Again, that article came from Maine Updates. I'll put that down below. How's the audio? Is it improving? I don't really like having the mic in my hand. It's kind of awkward. Maybe I should get some kind of clip-on. I don't want to have to buy another mic right now. But if the audio is not good, then I will obviously have to work on it. Well, that's also a good one, but I'm going to save that one for the last because it's just touching, I guess. So 94.3 WCYY posted this by Ginny Rogers. This New England state has more registered hunters than most of the country. So I think it's pretty cool that Maine has held on to our long history of hunting. Massachusetts, even New Hampshire, which is kind of surprising, didn't fare well in the list. Vermont and Maine definitely did better. Maine did beat Vermont, so that's a thing. And you can read the article yourself. I won't necessarily bore you with this, but I've never been hunting myself, but I do plan on it. I can understand why people enjoy it. I love being outside. There's something serene, and as far as Maine goes, we have some of the most pristine land, wilderness in the country. I know Utah and certain other areas have huge swaths of land as well, but there's just something that's true to my heart here in Maine. And I mean, we have the incredible, lengthy, rocky coastline, not always fun to swim in, but it's still breathtaking and beautiful. I mean, our mountains aren't the best, and especially compared to out west, but you know what? They're ours, and we have a lot of fun on them. And people from around the world also seem to have a lot of fun on them. So this winter, it's seeming like, I've read a couple of reports, I'm not going to reference any of them, but it does seem like this winter is going to hit us about 4 times the winter that we had last year. I forget what the Farmer's Almanac called for. I do believe that it called for a harsh winter. I don't think it called for a 4 times, but called for a harsh winter. Other articles were saying 4 times, which I can find easy to believe because in the last couple of years, I mean, British Columbia, way out west, got hit, I think it was 2 years ago, and then last year, Niagara Falls area, Rochester, New York area, they just got slammed with all kinds of snow. And I've been telling people around me that I thought that it was coming. I didn't know if it was going to be this year or next year, but just based on the pattern, it seems like the skipping stone is skipping in our direction. So I would find that easy to believe that we are going to be hit. And no matter what, there are high tensions across the globe, so I think now is a good time for people to start thinking like old-time Mainers. Think about a winter where you may not have accessibility to fresh fruits and vegetables like we're accustomed to in previous winters. Buy more canned goods, or if you still can your own goods. Start prepping up, saving beans and rice. People can survive off of that. Even if you don't want to, you can survive off of that for a long time. Just start saving up, just start thinking like old-time Mainers. And old-time Mainers were always preppers because Maine winters were always unpredictable and always harsh. So I think it's in our blood to do these kinds of things, to think ahead, to prepare for the unknown, to prep for everything. We've done that for many years and many generations, and I hope that it'll continue for many generations. In a way, people that are here in Maine, I think, are meant to be here in Maine, whether they were born and bred here like I am, or whether they're just getting here. I think that Maine in general has a certain magnetism to it that draws like-minded individuals here. I do see our ideology changing across the state somewhat. It does seem that our ideology in these newer, more densely populated areas have been swayed more drastically on certain topics than other areas in Maine. But as far as Maine goes, we've always been purple. You never know how we're going to vote. Red, blue, who knows? Just treat us well and you'll get our support. Piss us off and you're done. And so I think even the new individuals from outer state, from other countries, I think that there's a certain magnetism here to the state. There's no joke, it's cold. It's hella cold at times. So it does take a certain individual to get accustomed and adapted to it, but if you give it time, I think it's easy to adapt to. Humans can adapt to most environments around the globe. And so if you're new to the state, welcome, because we love people. We love hard-working individuals. Don't come here to the state for a handout, because we don't have anything to hand out. We work from dawn to dusk, or dusk to dawn. But if you're willing to strap on some boots, get your hands dirty, and work right beside us, we will take you, and you will be treated like family. One thing about Mainers, New Englanders in general, is that we're loyal as fuck. And so you get in with us, and you're in with us. Piss us off, you gone done screwed up. I don't want to swear twice in a row like that. So that was the article that was posted by 94.3 WCYY. Again, Ginny Rogers wrote it. I'll have the link down below. And that's my little rant on the side. So, I should probably do more research, but I did see this. It's from WMTW, Channel 8 on ABC News, by Carrie Brooks. Not in my backyard. Graham residents concerned about a proposed housing project. A controversial new housing proposal would create 391 new units in the woods behind the village in Gorham. Election day is still weeks away, but among the political signs all over Gorham, you'll notice signs that have nothing to do with the upcoming election. The sign reads, 391 new homes in the village, higher taxes, more traffic, and school overcrowding. Another reads, tell the planning board no, save Gorham. KV Enterprises, LLC, has proposed nearly 400 new housing units, which include 96 single-family homes and 295 apartments in 12 buildings. The subdivision would be tucked in the woods behind Village Elementary School off Robbie Street. The housing proposal is already pitting neighbor against neighbor. All the traffic that would come by, back and forth, Graham resident Donna Sturgis said, I would not like it at all, period. Some neighbors say the project is too big, involves too many people, and is too close to the downtown village. Bigger schools, roads, sewer, water, taxes are going to go up, said David Sturgis. Donna and David Sturgis live on Robbie Street behind Hannaford. It's near the new Station Square, which added both apartments and commercial spaces in upper floors. Town Councilor Seven Siegel says Gorham needs more diversified developments like Station Square to stabilize property taxes in the future. Most towns, we're talking about Maine and the U.S. in general, lose money on single-family homes, make their money back on multifamily homes, mixed use and commercial. You can see Gorham is 99% single-family homes, Siegel says. Other people said that they worry about more children packing into already crowded schools, many already using portable classrooms. The concerns are certainly the number of children brought into the school system, said Peter King. They're already, as I understand it, bursting at the seams. So it will certainly impact the schools. The town is going to grow. It's just a question, I guess, can they manage the growth? The project is a long way from being a done deal and will be discussed at a planning board workshop scheduled for Monday, October 16th at 7 p.m. Before I go on, I will say, if this does speak to your heart, you should go to that meeting. And if not about this, about something else, those are why those planning boards have happened. That's what those workshops are about. That's when our voices can be heard. And that's when they should be heard. So whichever side you fall on that, be respectful and polite, but attend, make your voice heard. That's what this democracy is about. And so, regardless of side on that point, making your voice heard is important, and you should do it when and where you can, especially when it's something true to your heart. Here, it's hard to really get a good feel of everything because there were a couple comments. I want to look up the size of Gorham. A couple comments that mentioned that there's wetlands in the woods that they're talking about. And so that is concerning because wetlands are protected area. Is Gorham and Gorham Village different? I should know. Okay, so it's the same. There's 17,651 people as of 2018, and it looks like it's been on a steady incline. So, yes, Gorham is growing, but is that the way that it should be growing? Because if the citizens have spoken out and said that they don't like it, well, it's their town too. A planning board can't just take over and say, well, we need some more money because we're 99% low income revenue stream. That's not a good reason. If the citizens vote for it, yes. It's all about how the citizens vote and how they're educated along the way for what they're voting for. Because if you're trying to trick them just to get what you want, but you're doing a farce of having a vote, well, that's scheming and gross and shouldn't happen. I know it does, but it shouldn't. So, in that regard, I mean, that's a lot to add at one time. They already added some with that square that the the Sturgis mentioned, new Station Square. So that alone would need time to kind of equalize, because in a town that size with just mostly single home families, any kind of income stream is going to be new, and it can bring in a whole swath of new problems. And Maine is known for the way life should be, and the way life should be is that you have safe neighborhoods, you have places where kids can grow up and can go down the streets to neighbors' houses without any kind of worry. And that shouldn't just be here in Maine, it should be that way everywhere. Unfortunately it's not, but we do have it here in Maine. So while we still have it, we need to protect it and maintain it. So if this is all just about money and the town planning board is just trying to get more money, and the citizens are saying no, well, then that is corrupt, because this is a we the people led democracy. Things get put to vote, and how we speak is how things should go. That's not always the case, but that is how the intention was and should be once more. And those parents and families, people that have lived there for a long time, they have a lot to worry about, their right to raise concerns. And then if it is wetland, well, I mean, when I grew up, I watched a Walmart destroy wetlands even though it was illegal, but they just paid enough fines that it was overlooked. We have to stop that. We can't allow that. That kind of thing is wrong. We protect them for a reason. It doesn't mean we protect them until you pay us enough money and then screw them. No, they're supposed to be protected, so no amount of money should be able to influence whether they get ripped into. Because those kind of things are precious. That's why they're protected. So I guess I'll do a follow-up. I'll include the article down below, and I'll do some follow-up on some further research into that, just seeing more angles, and then, I mean, I'll go and visit if I need to. Doing some investigative journalism would be fun. So, well, this was a little bit of happier news, not so much death and gloom. I mean, it's happening enough, unfortunately, and I hope that people are preparing in ways that they should, because you never know what tomorrow brings. So just prepare now and let tomorrow's worries worry about tomorrow. But for now, just prepare and have a good time. Drink plenty of water, spend time with your friends and family, and get good rest. Good rest is good. And apparently it doesn't necessarily matter when you get it, because my schedule is flip-flopped bad. Again, I'm only in my first 10 days of being on third shift, so we'll see how it settles. But right now it's a bit strange, but dealing with it. So y'all have a good night, evening, morning, whatever it finds you when you watch this, and I'll see you again soon. This has been News for Me by Andrew Oakland. Have a good night.